Ukrainian infantry raiding across the Dnipro River near the southern city of Kherson was locked in firefights on Monday with elements of at least 2 Russian conventional brigades. Pro-Moscow spokesman said the bridgehead would soon be crushed, whereas Kiev officials claimed the diversion tactic had exposed previously hidden Kremlin artillery to counterstrikes. Small boat teams from Ukraine's elite 73rd Marine Special Operations Unit were, according to Russian sources, being pressed into a shrinking perimeter around the south end of the demolished Antonivsky Bridge, a span across the Dnipro destroyed by retreating Russian troops in November. Ukrainian military spokesmen have confirmed special operations troops operating on the left bank of the Dnipro River since at least May, among them the 73rd, Kiev's premier small boat commando unit. Russian military information platforms claimed Kremlin troops backed by tanks and artillery were systematically clearing out Ukrainian infantry on the Russian side of the river over the weekend, and some sources asserted the Ukrainian force was completely destroyed by Sunday. Pro-Russian blogger Yuri Podolyaka in a Sunday situation estimate said, "Communications with this region is, unfortunately, not stable, but based on what guys that are there have told me, the enemy is regrouping, and it's not clear whether it's evacuating this bridgehead totally, but our guys are pressing them, and right now I don't have any hard information about what's going on." Russia's 127th Brigade was leading the attack on Ukrainian forces, he claimed. Other pro-Moscow information platforms said a Russian Marine infantry unit, backed by tanks and artillery, was also participating in the counteroffensive. The British intelligence update on July 1st said defending Russian forces in the area included elements of the 7th Guards Air Assault Division. Russian media on Thursday reported 2 powerful weapons not normally employed by Kremlin forces against light-rating infantry teams, TOS flamethrower rocket launchers and massive Iskander surface-to-surface missiles, had pounded the Ukrainian bridgehead. Russian airstrikes also were reported, but some Russian military information platforms complained the Russian Air Force bombs and missiles had missed. The terrain around the south end of the destroyed Antonivsky Bridge is swampy, heavily wooded, and thick with summer cottages, orchards, and gardens. Ukrainian light infantry from the 73rd and possibly other units intensified raids across the Dnipro to the sector in May against weak Russian opposition. By late June, a 5 to 10 kilometer wide belt of the left, formerly Russian-held Dnipro River bank in the vicinity appeared almost fully under Ukrainian control, with Russian boat patrols hitting ambushes and, according to civilian social media, Ukrainian small boat teams moving freely back and forth across the river. On Saturday, Russia's defense ministry, without offering evidence, claimed all Ukrainian forces in the vicinity of the Antonivsky Bridge had been totally destroyed. Ukraine Air Force spokesperson Yuri Anat confirmed the Iskander had been fired, but Russian claims the strike destroyed Ukrainian troops in the vicinity were overblown. Natalia Humeniuk, senior spokesperson for Ukraine's Joint Forces South, in a Saturday statement, said that serious battles are in progress on the left bank of the Dnipro opposite Kherson, and that armed forces of Ukraine, AFU, long-range, counter-battery artillery was taking advantage of Russian attempts to clear the bridgehead by hitting shorter-ranged Russian howitzers and cannons brought to the battle. Russian artillery losses in recent weeks have been at a wartime high, averaging around 25 to 30 systems lost per day, with even higher peaks registered during the kickoff of Ukraine's summer offensive on June 6th to 10th, and over the weekend on July 1st to 2nd, Icelandic military data analyst Ragnar Gudmundsson reported in open-source findings. Ukraine's Army General Staff, AGS, in its July 3rd morning situation estimate made no direct reference to fighting along the Dnipro River floodplain beyond stating that Ukrainian reconnaissance had observed Russian attempts to regain lost ground in the Kherson sector. The AGS July 3rd estimate of Russian equipment destroyed over the previous 24 hours claimed Kremlin artillery losses were continuing apace, with 32 Russian howitzer or mortar systems and 4 rocket systems put out of commission or captured by AFU units. The Ukrainian General Staff reported that Ukrainian forces continued offensive operations in the Bakhmut, Melitopol, Western Zaporizhia region, and Berdyansk, Donetsk-Zaporizhia regional border area, directions. Russia conducted 60 airstrikes, an increased rate, and 64 MLRS attacks on Ukrainian positions. Ukraine conducted 6 airstrikes. Some 95 Ukrainian population settlements, an increased number, across the Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson regions were shelled by Russian forces.